Hi everybody, it's jrobi. I'm going to take you through a really good game here I had on the internet chess server tonight. It was a pretty tactical game. Both me and my opponent were using a good portion of our clocks to think about our moves. We were playing a 10-minute rated blitz. So we'll go through it here. I'm jrobi and I'm white. So I open up with e4 and he plays e5. And I go to knight f3 and he goes knight c6. So it's pretty standard here so far. I go to c3 with my knight and he goes to d6 with his pawn. So I go to d3 with my pawn. He comes in with his knight, so I just trade the knights here. Now he's attacking my knight, and I move my knight to d5 because he's protected by the pawn, but really I wasn't planning on keeping him for very long anyway, because I wouldn't want my opponent to come in here and, let's say I play here, and just lose the knight anyway. Well, of course he'd have triple pawns, but so anyway, pull the knight back to f4. He goes to f6. Now I bring my bishop out, he brings his out, and I put my bishop on d2. He castles and I castle. And he wants to do a little pawn exchange here. I don't want to take with this pawn though, because what happens if I do is basically I lose my center pawn. And it's not a good thing to have doubled up pawns like that, but when they're all in the center, and I've only got one pawn here on d3, it's not horrible to have that position, because he could use his bishops in conjunction with them and stuff like that. So it wasn't something that I wanted. So what I did is I moved my bishop to f3, and he takes now with his center pawn, so I take with mine. So we still have the same center pawn. Now he strengthens up his pawns here. So I go to c3, he takes, and my bishop was blocking my queen, but I felt if I take here with my bishop and offer the queen trade, that it wouldn't be a bad thing at this point in the game. And I was just thinking about where my pieces were, and it was still a very, very even game. So with the queens off the board here, it wasn't too bad. So the queen trade goes through, and now my opponent plays to d7 with his knight. So I come in here to d5. My knight's protected by my pawn, and I'm eyeing up this really good square here on e7, because I could use that for a check and then maybe win some material from there. So, but in order to do that, I saw at this point that I needed to get my bishop in on his bishop, and you'll see why. So he moves his bishop to d6. Now that takes away the e7 attack capabilities on my knight, because he could just take with his bishop. So I have to wait for a while until that bishop gets out of there. So I go bishop g4, and basically as soon as he moves that knight, if I have the freedom, if this bishop is moved out of the way, it's going to be a good combo. So he moves the bishop now, and that reopens the square for attack, and he offers up a trade. Now he was thinking, and it wasn't a bad thought at the time, he just didn't think far enough ahead. He was thinking that not only would we trade bishops, but he would basically have an attack on my bishop, and as well, he could come in and do some damage to my pawns over here. But when I take with my bishop now, and he takes with his rook, it opens up this nice combo. So check. He has to move the king and take the rook for a knight. Now it wouldn't have mattered what rook he used, because they, they're going to land on the same square anyway. So I could have came in here. If he would have taken with this one, I can still come in, check, has to move the king, and he loses the rook anyway. So let's go back to the game here. He takes, check, take the rook. He takes again, and I move my rook up to d5, attacking the knight. And I guess if there's a glaring blunder in the game here, it was probably his last move here. He moves to g6. At this point, he's going to lose the knight, and he resigns. Probably a better move would have been just to get that knight out of there. And we still could have had a pretty close end game. I was up a rook, but we still both had 6 pawns. He had a knight rook, and I had 2 rooks. So it definitely wasn't a totally losing position. But it was a good game. So it was a shorter game, so a shorter video, but hope you enjoyed it. Take care.